So you mentioned how like people don't, like some people don't know how you look, but they know your voice.
Right.
Have you ever been like just walking in the street or at a party or something and you hear like somebody like, man, that Lenny Green, you ever?
Well, I think I heard you say something bad about me one time. Yeah.
I never.
About me once. You don't have to believe me. I'm just saying. I believe this woman said something bad about me.
I never. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Real Rose, and I am here with none other than Lenny Green. If you guys don't know, he is also from The Quiet Storm on WBLS. How are you today?
I'm good, Rose. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you brought me here. Like we're actually in the studio here.
What we doing
This
there?
is nice. This is really dope.
Well, you know, it's not very sexy because the lights are bright. We don't have no candles on. But next time, if you should.
Little candle.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't want to give you a bad impression because, you know, people have a misperception sometimes of what goes on behind the scenes. So I want to give you a good impression. First impressions are the last.
Well, you look sharp. You see,
Well,
we're
I had
kind of
to come.
matching here.
Come church ready, you know?
Of course.
With a little twist to it. But.
Yes. Now, other than you being a radio host, okay, I dug up some research and I see you got some. You do cross country. You do skiing. You do acting. A little bit of something here. So what's the new hobby? What's the new hobby you got on your list?
Golf.
Golf.
I'm hitting birds out of trees, though.
What?
Yeah. You know, can I be brutally honest with you?
Of
A few
course.
years back, I thought golf was just for old guys, and I heard it's more healthy for you. It's more therapeutic for you in ways where you're challenging really yourself. You're not It's not like I'm competing against you.
Right.
I'm challenging this little ball and trying to make a difference. And even the best of the best have bad days. We've witnessed a few greats over the years, but even a few best of the best have bad days. So I just wanted to learn the art form of golf, and I'm having a good time, even though I'm not hitting the ball straight, and I'm in the bushes a lot looking for the ones I hit in the bushes. But it's really a fun game that you can enjoy. It's very scenic, it's very peaceful, and it's very it's a lot of fun because you do it with friends. You know, at least I've been doing it with friends. I haven't been doing it with strangers, and those are probably the only ones that would tolerate me.
Right.
Not hitting the balls too well. So that's my new hobby, golf.
Okay. I've done a little golf, but not like little miniature golf, with all the designs.
I'm good at that. I'm great at miniature golf. So anytime you want to go golfing, miniature golf,
got to.
I may win.
Yeah, I bet you will, and then just act like everything's all calm. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So I want to know that, like, for anyone who's starting up or who wants to even break into radio, what would you say, or what would you tell your 10-year-old self? Like if they wanted to 10 years before or 20 years before down the line, not down the line, but beforehand, what would you have told yourself if, getting into this career?
Radio became my second career choice. My first career choice was singing.
Yes.
But once I got involved with this radio, I really wanted to make magic happen beyond imagination, which was unrealistic. But when we all want something, we want something right now. We're not very patient. And I think in the journey before I landed in New York City, which is my home, I think, and looking back in hindsight now, patience is key. Patience is the most valuable aspect or characteristic you have to develop. And it's very, very hard to develop patience. But when God has something for you, He has something for you. And I learned that on many different occasions in this business. But it took me 12 years to get to New York, which is relatively short in comparison to a lot of folks who have been wanting to focus just maybe on New York City or Chicago or Los Angeles. Those are the 3 top markets in the country. So what I would tell myself is sit in the moment, learn, and be patient. I had no choice but to sit in the moment because people weren't checking for me.
Right.
In the moment when I sat, I started paying extra close attention to people who were on the radio. And I was blessed to been born and raised and around some of the best golden voices in the New York City area.
Yeah.
So old school.
Yes, I heard that you were working with, well, not working with, but you came in the game with Barry White. You came in the game with Isaac. So I even heard he shaved your head.
Isaac, yeah, that's a hidden secret, which you found out about.
Right.
Isaac actually shaved my head bald right here in this room.
Wow.
In between his show, because he was doing mornings at that time on 98.7 KISS. And he took it all off with the razor in hand. And I told him, could you please put a towel over my head? Because I didn't know if I had any lumps on my head.
Right.
And it was too late then, because I was completely bald.
Yeah.
And then he unveiled me later that night at Madison Square Garden, because it was a huge, big concert the radio station was giving, and I was sweating profusely. So,
but it looks good.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's very high maintenance. He didn't tell me that. I have to shave every day.
Wow.
I like it smooth.
You like it, yeah.
I like it smooth. But he didn't tell me how high maintenance it was going to be for me. So, but I appreciate it. It's a new me.
Yes.
And it seems to be, as you have said, gotten approval. But whether it got approval or not, it was going to go down.
Yeah,
it was going down.
It was happening. So I also know that you've worked with, well, not worked with, but you've had people and that you're close to, like Smokey Robinson. And recently, you know, of course, we all know that Aretha Franklin just passed. Did you speak to him recently? Has he told you, or anybody else who's been very close to her? Have you spoken to them about how they feel about the passing of Aretha?
I was trying to get in contact with Smokey, but at the time, I think he was staying quiet at the request of the family. This is right before he went on Good Morning America. So I left messages for Smokey. But I had the chance to speak to Regina Bell and Peebo Bryson and a producer by the name of Gordon Chambers, who actually had the honors of producing Aretha on 2 separate occasions in her home. And they all spoke on how wonderful, how kind, how extending she was to so many people. And she was royalty, but she treated you as royalty. And because she treated you with such of a high regard, if you have any kind of character about yourself and moral about yourself, you want to treat her back with the same kind of level. You want to measure to the level of expectation that she's going to deliver. And I remember what Gordon Chambers had said to me. He said, before he arrived for the session, she was practicing. Now, we're talking about a woman who has been in the game for decades, decades. And she still practices before she records music, which has to be a lesson to any newcomer out here who feels that they may have the chops, but they don't have to practice anymore. So if the woman of that caliber, Miss Aretha Franklin, still practiced at that age to only bring perfection to that recording session, that's a page that we all can take. Never get too comfortable. Never think that you're all that. Always continue to grow your craft and make it better. And I took that for my own personal, and I hope somebody else takes it for theirs.
I also know that you are. I did do my research. I wasn't playing. I
see. Wow. I can only imagine how your boyfriend.
I'm not playing. I don't play. I research everything. So you are, like myself, a big Les Brown fan. So what is a quote, or how did you, what's a quote you probably remember him, or you either remember of him, or just kind of gets you going?
Well, you know what, I don't remember the quotes, to be honest with you, precisely. But not only am I a fan of his inspirational and uplifting empowerment books, but I had the honor of working with him, but in a small capacity, in a very, very small capacity. To be in the presence means a lot, because I feel that if you're in the presence of greatness, you're in the presence of positivity, something's going to rub off.
Right.
And just to be in his presence told me what kind of man he was, and told me, I kind of had an insight of where the inspiration came from. And he was a big family man, and his grandmother and his mother, was very much in hands-on, as a lot of old school parents are hands-on back in the day, and that just groomed him and developed him to the phenomenal motivational speaker that we know of him today. So I'm sorry I can't quote anything, but the book Dreams is something that I've always done, and it wasn't because I just read the book. Ever since I was 9 years old, I dreamt of being in the entertainment business. I was very focused on that. My lane was singing, but I was entertainment. It wasn't anything else but entertainment. And even though I'm not singing, I'm still in the business in a different capacity, appreciating singers, but still dreaming for the next level, because I'm thankful to God for the blessings that He has given me, and I don't take these blessings for granted. But I have my eye on a bigger picture. So I'm still dreaming, and anybody who doesn't dream, you're shortchanging yourself. So dream big and never give up on your dreams until you reach the ultimate dream that you want.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So this is a question I always ask all people in the industry in general. What gets you going in the day? Like, what motivates you? What inspires you?
Me simply opening up my eyes every day and just saying thank you. I praise God, and I don't want to sound corny. If I do sound corny, I don't care. But I praise God just to open my eyes. I praise God just for another opportunity to do something better. I'm a work in progress. I have a lot of things I have to correct within myself. I'm striving for a lot of things. I'm dreaming for bigger things. I ask God to use me as His vessel so I can touch lives and change lives. That's my goal. And in radio, it's such an invisible medium, unlike the medium that you're in, where I can't see people and they can't see me. Some people to this day never seen me a day in their life. So I just ask that I can speak something from my heart that I need to touch a person's life or help a person's life, or maybe play a song, because music is the soundtrack to our lives. And every song that we hear along the way, something happened in our lives, good and bad. You were doing something. You were on a certain job. You were getting a promotion. You were in a certain relationship. You might remember a certain time with your family. Songs reflect different periods of our lives. So I may not be able to speak to everyone, but I hope that my music, I hope what I'm saying off the top of my head or in my heart comes through effectively. And so far, by God's grace, it has.
Okay, so I want to let the ladies know. I want them to know. So, are you single?
I am single. Yes, I am single.
And the top 3 things or 4 things that you're looking for a woman?
She has to be spiritually driven.
Okay.
She has to be driven as an individual. She has to be career oriented. And she needs to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you know, a fit. Now, I don't have a six-pack. You know, I'm not Mr. America. I'm not competing in any weight competition kind of situation. But she has to be fit. I like women who are beautiful, but it's more than just beauty on surface. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have a great spiritual inside in order for you to really be personified. You know, so spirituality is really key, because I have a great relationship with God, and the person I decide to be with has to have a relationship with God as well.
Okay, I appreciate that. Amen to that. Now, well, this is a little bit piggybacking on what we were talking about with Isaac and Barry White. What was the advice that they gave you coming up in the industry?
Well, you know what? Barry White was the voice of the station, so he really didn't spend a lot of time with us in terms of, you know, just kicking it like that. Isaac Hayes, I developed a great friendship with, and just to look at his legacy and how it grew and how it started out. See, no one gets to the top level just to get there. Everyone wants the top level, but there's a lot of requirements and there's a lot of work you have to do to get to that top. So I think doing the work and understanding the craft that you want to be involved in and that you want to see, or you see yourself growing in, you have to find out what it would take to get in the mix, what it would take for you to learn, what do you have to perfect about yourself, because everybody wants to get there, but they don't want to really take out the time to perfect themselves. And no one will be perfect, but you have to be ready, because you never know when the opportunity is going to hit you. And when the opportunity hits, you get one time at home plate to hit that ball. And if you don't hit that ball, you don't even have to hit a home run, but you got to hit a grand slam. You got to do something. You got to get on base, because it's a chance. It's like a chance in a million. Think how many people want to be sitting here with you doing your job. Think how many people want to sit here in my capacity. So these jobs don't come very, very easy. That's why we have to work very, very hard in whatever profession everyone wants to do to make sure that you are the best at whatever you want to do in life.
Okay. So, again, going back to when we were talking about you being single and such like that.
We spoke.
Oh, no. I still got some, you know, I'm like remembering everything. So, the romance ambiance. I know you love the romance ambiance. So what's like your favorite smell or your favorite style type of thing?
I won't say.
setting this up for y'all.
Yeah. She's doing an excellent job. I'm not going to. I'm not going to say the favorite fragrance. I'll give you one. Chanel.
Chanel. Okay.
Now I'm not going to tell you what number, but Chanel.
Okay.
Because see, again, perfumes, fragrances work differently on different people. You know, our body chemistry mixing with the fragrance presents something else. But let's just say I love a woman who smells delicious. I love it. I love a woman who pampers herself, who takes care of herself. Colors, I like sexy things. Like, the sexier ladies, the better.
Okay.
You know, that's all. When you're walking casually around the crib, sexy. Use your imagination. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. So before we go, I want you to let the viewers know where they can find you.
Well, if you're in New York City, I'm on the best station in America, and that's 107.5 WBLS. You can listen to us online. We're on the iHeartRadio app.
Yes,
but I'm so happy that God has given me an opportunity to become syndicated. So we're starting to grow in certain markets. Right now, you can catch us in Oklahoma. You can catch us in Arkansas. We're in Augusta, Georgia. We're in Tulsa and Lawton, Oklahoma. We're in North Carolina. We're in Freeport and Nassau, Bahamas. And we're about to get in a few other markets. So we're starting to grow a little bit, and that's a blessing.
Yes, that is amazing. You see how things happen, and this is why I spoke to him, because he is the real deal, you guys.
Just like you're the real Rose.
I know, that's right, the real deal with Real Rose.
The real Rose investigator.